What's up guys, it's ALLDAYANTHONY. Welcome back to the Civic vlog that you hopefully know and hopefully love. And in today's video, we're unboxing what could be my favorite mod for the Civic so far. Let's get started. All right, so I cannot financially justify what's in this box right here, but it's very similar to the situation where your parents are like, what's wrong with the seats you already have? And you're like, it's not the latest model, and well, the kids are making fun of me at school, and this could be my birthday and my Christmas present. Kind of one of those situations. So regardless, I have a brand new set of Corbeau seats in this box that, let's face it, we can't justify, but it's definitely gonna look badass in the Civic, and it's definitely going to improve the driving experience. So in today's video, we're going to be unboxing my brand new Corbeau RRX seats, along with the seat brackets, talking about why I chose to go with Corbeau instead of any other type of seat options, talk about how the Del Sol, the budget-friendly seats, were treating me over the last year and a half, and why I chose to upgrade. And then from there, we're gonna be adding a special detailing product to these Corbeau seats to keep them protected for much longer and keep them going. And then that's it. This video is gonna be an unboxing video, an overview video, an in-depth look at the seats. And then in the next video, I'm gonna do an install as well as my first impressions. And so I wanna dedicate a little bit more time to this because this is something that a lot of people don't cover. And I wanna go in depth on why I chose to go with higher quality seats and why I chose to improve the driving experience of my slow Civic with more aggressive seats. So with that said, we're gonna grab a knife, get this thing unboxed because I've been dying to see what's in here. All right guys, so we have two boxes here. Obviously the seats in the big box and then the small box is the brackets. So I think we're gonna start with the appetizer first before jumping into the main course. So we're gonna pop these open and see what these are all about. So I'm gonna dive a little deeper into why I chose Corbeau seats here in just a little bit. But one of the biggest reasons is that they have the biggest selection of seat brackets for pretty much every single vehicle. And so even my 1999 Honda Civic has seat brackets, which is pretty cool because, again, these cars are getting older, so seat brackets are not something that a ton of manufacturers are making unless you fab up your own or you go with an OEM option like I have on the Civic right now. So this is going to be, this is just the full bracket assembly with the sliding rail on it. So, damn, that's, I don't think it gets any easier to install, to be honest. It's pretty straightforward. Now, these seat brackets are specific to the 96 to 2000, which means they'll fit the coupe, they'll fit the sedan, and they'll also fit the hatchback with no issues. Everything's kind of plug and play with their setup. Now, if you have another Honda Civic generation, then check to see if they have seat brackets for your generation because there's no point in trying to mod or fab up something when you can just buy the correct fitment for your car. So that looks pretty legit, man. I think this is going to be, does it say whether it's the passenger? Oh, PS, passenger side. This box is attached to this box, but this flap won't open without that flap. What kind of Pandora's box is, oh. that makes a lot more sense now. All I need to do is just, that's embarrassing. I'm just gonna flip this over. And this is why Anthony makes two-part videos, because I can't figure out how to open a simple, God, what a dummy. All right, so those are the seat brackets. Nothing too exciting, but they are necessary for these seats unless you want to fab something up for yourself. And so whenever it comes to aftermarket seats, I would just buy whatever seat brackets they have available to them. Don't try to fab anything up if you don't have to. And so the fact that these are a direct fitment is just a score and a plus for me. And it makes the seat choice obviously an easier choice for me as well. And so that's kind of a nice touch. There's a little, there's rubber on that. So it's kind of like a rubber grip around there versus sticking with all metal. Huh, I like those little things. The main course, I am so excited, guys. If you haven't already Googled what seats these are, I think you guys are gonna be super impressed with how good these things look and how aggressive these seats actually are for a reclinable seat. So let's just jump in. I'm excited. These have been sitting in my house for about a week and a half now. I've been waiting on a good day with some good weather to do this video on, and today was just the right day to do it. Check that out. Now, how they pack these is actually pretty legit. So basically what they do is they basically stand the seat up and then flip it over and shove it back down in there. And so these should be pretty well protected. I don't know what the best way to do this is. I'm sure you guys realize how excited I am about these seats, but if you're not, then go back and watch my 5 things to make your underpowered Honda more fun to drive, and I talk about how important seats are and the driving experience, and you'll know why I like aggressive seats. It's just one of those things where I'm just a sucker for nice seats. I think they completely make an interior, and so I'm excited. Okay, so needless to say, these are way too nice for my car. They are. These are way too nice for my Civic. Are you kidding me? Is there anybody else as weird as I am about seats? I'm hoping there is, because I feel like, sorry, I'm just trying to take all this in right now. Holy shit, man. All right, I gotta stop drooling. We have another one to tear open. We'll look it over, check it out, make sure there's no flaws or anything in it, but I'm like obsessed. I'm obsessed with these. All right, guys, so this is the driver's seat. First one we unwrapped was the passenger seat. And again, these are just way too nice. These are way too nice for my 1999 Honda Civic EX, but here we are, man, throwing a pair of brand new seats into the car, and I think that's half the enjoyment of a new car, is sitting in a pair of brand new seats, and the fact that I'm throwing brand new seats into such an old car is funny, but I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to feel so good. I think it's going to improve the driving experience, and it's definitely going to feel a lot more race car in the car. So I'm going to grab the other camera because I want to bring you guys in and kind of show you some of the details they did on the seats and kind of talk about the quality and the construction, because I feel, again, that's something that people never highlight. So I want to talk about that a little bit more, and then I'm going to kind of do a deep dive on why I chose to go with Corbeau over other seat options. So let's do it. All right, now that we have the fancy camera, we can dive into a little bit deeper detail on the Corbeau RRX seats. Now, these particular ones are the all black vinyl. However, they do have a couple different color options for these seats specifically. So they did have a red and black option that looked pretty cool. I like the red and black. I thought it might flow well with the car, but I think red without other red accents kind of looks a little off. So I chose to go with all black, but they also had a black and gray option, which was kind of more of a second option to me to the all black. I am not a seat professional. However, I've gone to a lot of different detailing classes and things like that have talked about quality of seats and construction of leather and construction of vinyl. And so while this does look like leather, this is in fact vinyl, right? And so vinyl nowadays has kind of completely changed, and so back in the day, vinyl was kind of a negative thing, but they've improved the quality and the abrasion resistance and the kind of just the overall construction to where these things can hold up just as well as real leather, and in some cases even outperform real leather. And so Tesla likes to call their vinyl vegan leather. So if I would like, I can call this vegan leather if I would like to, because there's no animals harmed in the making of these seats. But so kind of coming from the top here, so obviously we have our headrest here. All the stitching is done up over the top there. And so coming down to here, this is my favorite part. Everybody loves seats that have a harness section, and it goes through the backside. Now what I like is I like when seat manufacturers add in designs, but not when it's completely over the top, right? Like a lot of people really like the diamond stitch design, as that's pretty in right now. But for me, I like it simple, and I think that this is about as complex as I would want to go around this area here. And then in the middle, we just have some straight lines, down here straight lines, and then more of kind of like that cross stitching. And so now I want to talk about this material right here, as it feels really interesting. It's very grippy. Like when you go to put your hand over it, it feels very grippy. What it reminds me of is on the new Tacomas and the new 4Runners, they're putting kind of like this vinyl option that is quite literally exactly this, just a bigger pattern. But this itself it catches your hand. It's very grippy. So it's not like an Alcantara or something like that. It is another source of vinyl, but it's just woven different in the fact that it actually provides some grip. And then coming down here, we just have our basic inserts. So these are just going to be your rectangle inserts with the perforated kind of look and style. And so when you have perforations like this, this is meant for airflow. It's meant for more breathability, whether it's vinyl or whether it's leather. And so this right here, I love that that's stitched in. And on the back side too, I love that it's stitched in as well. Now coming around to the back side here, not a whole lot to talk about. I think that this is probably the coolest part of the back of the seat, along with your little harness area here. But this right here is just all vinyl, so it's not a hard back, it's not plastic back here, it is just more vinyl. Other than that though, coming around here, we have our adjuster here, the bottom. This is just going to decline or recline. Is that how that works? Recline, decline? I'm not sure, but I'll show you guys how forward this can go and how much backward it can go. Well, I think you could probably sleep in these things. Seriously. So I think it could actually go back a couple more notches if I'm being completely honest. It just, if I let go, that seat's gonna fall back. But that's some pretty good reclining ability right there, boys. All right, so this is in the full forward position here. I think the only thing stopping it from going even more forward is the fact that it's got bolstering. So if this wasn't so aggressive, I'm sure it could probably come down a little bit more, but that's good enough for me. I think that if somebody were to get into the back seat, not that I have a whole lot of people riding the back of the Honda, I think that this would be perfect. Basically, slide it forward, decline it, recline it, whatever you want to call it, and then they can hop in from there. But pretty dang nice. So my neighbor decided to start pressure washing while I was in the middle of this shoot, and that's okay. It's fine. I'm not mad, it's all good, it is what it is. So I'm gonna get straight into this. Why did I choose to go with Corbeau seats in my Honda Civic? Well, it was a pretty easy timeline. Basically, I installed the S2000 steering wheel, and then after that, I was itching for a more aggressive pair of seats. As you guys know, the OEM Civic seats here are the least aggressive seats there probably is, so I wanted an upgrade. Hence why I eventually went with the Del Sol seat upgrade, which is basically taking a set of Del Sol seats and swapping the rails over from your Civic seats onto the Del Sol, and it is a direct plug and play into the car. And I've had those for about 1.5 years now, and they've been great. Basically threw some Iggy covers on them, it hit all the imperfections, and they were good. They've been good seats to me. I really don't have any complaints with them. However, they didn't scratch that itch. A bad example of an itch, but you get what I'm trying to say. Basically, I was still craving something with more aggressive bolstering, something that felt even sportier than those, and I was on the search. So for the last 6 months to a year, I've been looking for a set of seats that would be a good swap into my Honda Civic here. Now, one of the most popular common aggressive seat swaps into these cars is throwing in the Type R seats, the OEM Recaros out of an EK9 or an Integra Type R. Now, the biggest problems with those is that they are getting extremely expensive and people are finding fewer clean examples of them around the world. You have to remember, guys, these seats are literally 20 years old that people are swapping in, and you can only imagine how many Japanese people have farted in those. So instead of going with farty seats, I was in search of something newer, and that's when I stumbled across Corbeau. Now, I've known about Corbeau seats ever since I first started getting into cars. However, whenever I thought of the brand, I never really thought JDM or Honda Civic, and it didn't really scream that to me, but I wanted to learn a little bit more about the brand. It turns out Corbeau is actually one of the oldest manufacturers of racing seats I think there is. I think it started back in the 60s in the UK, where they started developing and manufacturing these things, and they are actually still manufactured there today. I realize this sounds like an ad, but it's really not. I'm really just explaining the justification for these seats, because apparently I'm trying to justify it right now on camera. But anyway, so doing a little bit more of a deep dive, I found out that they're actually a UK-based brand, where I've seen them in so many muscle cars and not in Honda Civics or other tuner cars. It didn't really make sense to me. So it even makes less sense, the fact that I see most of these in muscle cars, being that they're out of Great Britain. But I guess doing a little bit more research, I started seeing them in a lot of other Euro spec cars, which was pretty cool. So with that said, I found that they made the rails for their seats for my Honda Civic here, and so that was kind of the cherry on top, and the reason why I chose to go with them, because it was going to be a direct plug and play. Now, if you've done research on other seats out there, whether it's going with Brids or Brides or whatever you want to call them, or going with the Recaros, getting the seat is not the hard part. It's the rails is the hardest part, right? Getting the rails or fabbing up the rails is going to be the most difficult thing. So the fact that this brand had rails for my car and killer looking seats definitely sealed the deal. So that's kind of why I chose to go that route rather than go with some OEM Type R's that have been farted in for the last 20 years or go with another seat option. And again, I still love my Del Sol seats, but let's be honest, these are way more badass. So cheers to making these seats a thing for Honda Civics and the fact that my neighbor is no longer pressure washing. Alright guys, so the last thing that we need to do today is to get these seats protected. Now I understand you might be thinking, Anthony, you're a complete psychopath because these seats are literally brand new, and you're not wrong. I am pretty crazy, and you have to remember, I was the guy that washed his hands before playing with new toys as a kid, so if that doesn't speak to that, then I don't know what does. So what we're going to be doing today is using the Color Lock system. So they have the Color Lock Mild Cleaner, which is going to clean up any type of oils for my greasy hands touching them, and then after that, knocking it down with a towel, and then coming back through with the Color Lock Sealant. Now this is a special sauce here, which adds abrasion resistance to the seat as well as UV protection. So when they're in the car, it's going to protect them from fading, and when I'm getting in and out of these aggressive bolstering here, it's going to protect those from really wearing through. So it's definitely a plus, and it's much easier to do when you have them out of the car. So let's get at it. And go figure, there goes the pressure washer once again. So I'm just going to overlay some classical music for you guys. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. And we're back. So hopefully it didn't interrupt your sleep there, but we're finished up. The sealant is on the seat and it looks about the same, which is what we're going for. This sealant doesn't add any sheen or anything like that like a cheap conditioner would. It basically seals in the normal matte look of the leather and or vinyl in this case on this seat. So it's got abrasion resistance, so getting in and out of this bolster here, it won't wear through this coated vinyl as fast as it would if it were unprotected. It's also got UV protection as well. So I did the fronts, the backs, you guys pretty much saw it all. So it looks killer, man. I'm really happy with how that turned out. But one of the reasons why I'm not installing them in this video is that this sealant actually has to cure for a little bit of time, so I don't want to touch it too much or anything. And once that cures, it'll be good to go on the car, and then we'll put the brackets on and everything like that in the next video. But that pretty much wraps it up for this. I'm gonna knock out this other seat off camera and do that so I don't bore you guys to death. But man, these things look freaking killer. Anyways, I had fun making this video. I think that these things are gonna look overkill. I think that these things are going to look way too good for my car in all seriousness, and so I'm really looking forward to getting them in and telling you guys my thoughts. And so anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Make sure you stay tuned for the upcoming video, and I'll also give you guys a look at the Del Sol seats and show you some of the wear and tear over the last year and a half with those seat covers, but overall they've held up pretty good. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to getting these in the car. I look forward to more future mods on my Honda Civic. Hopefully you guys found this video entertaining. Hopefully you're excited to also see these seats in the car as much as I am. So if you guys like this video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's All Day Anthony. Peace.